This is a Global Original Podcast. Coming up this week, tracksuit pants, sarcasm, Panto, and a very weird question. Now, this was all recorded last November, before the general election, and this first clip includes how to drive on a motorway.
This is absolute tosh.
Brand Runner Tours tweets, "It's not raining in Glasgow." Pfft, rubbish. Tony says, "If Jezza wins the election, I hope he goes to see the Queen in a shell suit, as this would be a pivotal moment and show real intent that change is coming in beautiful ways. Nobody wants to see Jeremy Corbyn in a shell suit." I think you'll find that that is correct.
Correct.
Absolutely. Shell suits seem to have made a comeback. How's that? When did that happen? It's like I missed a memo. Every single person under the age of 30 is now wearing a black tracksuit pants with a white stripe down the side. Have you noticed? Everybody under 30 at my gym is wearing the exact same thing. They're all. It's like they're all cousins or something. It's like they all shop in the same place. It's like a memo went round. Every single one of them is wearing black tracksuit pants with a white stripe down the side, and they gather in gaggles when they're not gawping at their phones, which, apart from me, everybody in there does all the time, like they're addicted. Oh, I'm on about 23 hours of phone time a day now, man, but I can handle it. I'm just feeling a bit irradiated at the moment, that's all. How can you not go 2 minutes without looking at your phones? But they can't. They get a piece of equipment, machinery, and they sit on it. And do they use it? No, they don't. Except to park themselves while they stare at their blooming phones. It used to be a rule in gyms where you used to have to keep your phone in the locker. I'm sure I used to read that. Put your weights away and put your blooming phone, and don't stare at your phones, ye idiot. And now it's the only thing they do. They go to the gym to look at their phone. It's like they don't do that ordinarily. But yeah, it's, I don't know, some message went round. Like it's the law now. You stop wearing anything else. You all have to wear black tracksuit pants with the white stripe going down the side. And when they're all together, it looks like it looks like something that David Attenborough would be commentating about. They're camouflaged. You can't tell where one starts and the other begins. Richard in Carmarthen says, I feel really sorry for the shoppers who were stranded at the Meadowhall Centre last night. If only Rees-Mogg had been there, he could have used his common sense, ignored official advice to stay put, and led them all to safety through the swirling floodwaters. Yeah. That's right.
Well, if I said that one was stupid, I didn't mean that one was stupid, and I hope that that's clear. Hopefully one isn't stupid enough to misunderstand.
Well, I'm tapping it and tapping it and tapping it, and it's not working. So can you put it down for me? Can you put it on the air? It's not working. Nope. There it is. Ranjit, finally we speak.
We do indeed. You sound more like Jacob Rees-Mogg than Jacob Rees-Mogg does, so
Thanks.
I'm getting a bit worried. Yeah.
Right. Well, I am wearing spectacles because it makes me look smart.
Does it? Yeah. Right. Good evening, anyway.
Yes.
And okay, the thing is, everybody wants to be little me, yeah, mini me. So everybody dresses the same. So when they commit any kind of crime, it's hard to recognise them.
Is that why they do it? Right.
That's what I mean. I see a lot of the young Asian boys. Yeah, they've all got beards and they all wear the same kind of clothes. And you walk in, and if you haven't got your glasses on, hang on, is that my son walking? I know it isn't. It's one of his mates, or they all look alike. Yeah,
lurching about. Yes.
Lurching about. That's it. You've got it right. And the other thing, you're pronouncing Tipton is just a couple of miles away from where I am. It's Tippen. You don't say Tipton.
Tippen.
Tippen, that's how they say. Yeah, that's the first thing.
So it's the T is silent. Tippen.
It is Tipton, but if you come from Tipton, they say Tippen.
Right.
Tippen, that's all they say. I just get a bit worried about, when interdepartmental people can't work together.
Huh?
Yeah. for example, the waterworks people, yeah? Now, shouldn't the people who organise the hosepipe bans be speaking to the people in charge of the floods at the moment?
There weren't any hosepipe bans this year, were there? There can't have been. It hasn't stopped raining.
I know it hasn't started. Well, I'm in Albury, which is, like I say, 2 miles from Tippin, and it hasn't stopped raining probably since about, I don't know, Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's just constant.
Yeah, Tuesday in May. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
been
terrible.
permanent this year. It's been dreadful.
And about you, okay, normally I agree with everything you say.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to be a mini me, another version of Nick Abbott. Yeah.
But
Now but yes, here comes the big but. Yeah, and you know when you say a big wobbly butt, what did you actually mean by that?
nothing.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
big
probably.
wobbly butt.
I think that you misheard.
You said no, there was a big wobbly butt, and that made me chuckle. That's what made me pick up the phone.
Right.
Okay, about the middle lane hoggers.
What do you mean, hoggers?
They hog the middle lane. If
Well,
you're not overtaking, you're supposed to drive in the near side lane.
Yeah, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. If the slow lane is much slower than...
There is no such thing as a slow lane.
There is. It's the slow lane.
No. Okay, what speed are you supposed to do in the slow lane?
70.
What are you supposed to do in the middle lane?
But 80?
No, as far as you can floor it. No,
Yes,
no, I'm
exactly.
not. Okay, no. So that I'm going to do. I hate them. You know when you're driving, say, down the M40, you see these guys in Range Rovers
Yeah.
or Jaguars with a big Panama hat in the back, and they're doing something like 55 miles an hour in the middle lane. I hate that. That annoys me.
That's not my experience of Range Rover drivers. Range Rover drivers are doing 150 miles an hour in the outside lane, and they'll literally push you off the road if you're doing anything less than a ton.
That's the young bucks. I'm on about the old fogies like myself.
Oh, right. You mean the people who are driving Rovers?
Yeah. And the other one, I totally agree with you. It annoys me, and I'm clenching my fists. Yeah.
Yes.
These
Full of anger, by the way, Reggie, if you don't mind me saying so.
Yeah, full of anger.
You're a furious human being.
Yeah. These dummies, the morons who get their driving licenses out of a lucky bag.
Yeah.
Take up 2 spaces when they should be only taking up 1.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I think they should be penalised for that.
Well, penalised to death. I think there should be, you know those big grabby things that you see in fairs that children get disappointed when it doesn't pick up the little bunny?
Yeah.
You know those grabby things that you see in amusement arcades? There should be one of those, like a giant one that just descends from the sky. They should have satellites.
The claws, just pick them up.
Just pick them up and drop them in a car crusher while they're inside the car.
You're going to get yourself into trouble.
No, I don't think so. That's perfectly reasonable.
If I was to send out 1,000 ballot papers for turkeys to vote for Christmas, how many you reckon I'd get back?
Well, is this a joke?
No, not a joke. I'm just saying.
This is a serious question. Oh, well, thank goodness for that.
I think some of them would say, well, Randy, I think I'm going to vote for Christmas. I say, why are you going to vote for Christmas? Well, they says, I'm going to go to a good home. I say, you dumb moron, you're going home on a place with your head off.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what some of these drivers are like. They remind me of those kind of turkey people. You call them morons. I call them turkeys.
You've strayed beyond my ability to comprehend now, Reggie. But leave it with me, and I'll unpick it later. Thanks a lot, mate. We wanted to say more. Unfortunately, time has just run out on you, Reggie. So sad when that happens. Grace tweets, "Who's this lad saying Tippin instead of Tipton? I've lived here for 30-odd years and nobody says Tippin." 30-odd years? Well, that sounds offensive. What are you saying about the good people of Tippin? Mike tweets, "Check out your code, Nick. The slow lane is not to go slow. The other lanes are called overtaking lanes. Sorry, but you are wrong. Watch out for your points." But I'm not wrong, though, Mike. I'm right. Do more accidents get caused on motorways by people changing lanes? They must do. Because people don't know how to change lanes. They don't know that their cars come with indicators, for a start, or mirrors that aren't for checking their makeup, or they haven't got spinach in their teeth. So when people change lanes, that's when problems occur. If people just maintained the lane that they were in, no problems. I mean, in America, people don't change lanes. They just choose a lane, one of the 8 that are available on any of their highways, and they just stay in it. Doing a crossword, watching TV on their phone, that sort of thing. Loading their weapons. The stuff that people occupy themselves with in America while they're trying to forget the catastrophe that's happened to them.
I'm president. Can you believe it?
Yeah, he lost again, by the way. Again. He had to pay, $2 million because he screwed over his own charity.
I make $400 million a year, so what difference does it make?
I bet he's broke. I bet he doesn't actually have a bean. That's the reason why he won't release his tax returns. That and the Russians bailed him out of owing money to the mafia. I haven't broken any rules saying that, have I?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. And that's the $2 million on top of the $25 million he had to pay for his hooky university. But anyway, I might get to that in a while. His travails just keep getting better and better. And there's a book coming out by Anonymous, who is one of the people in the White House, apparently. I suppose we don't really know. It could all be totally made up, but it sounds believable to me. And some of the revelations are that Donald Trump is a dribbling idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. Who would have believed such a thing? Donald Trump, not smart.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
And he's not capable of taking on board information, and he is just wheeling around with his arms flailing like a threshing machine. That doesn't sound like Donald Trump, does it? And just complaining and complaining and complaining.
I am the most fabulous whiner. And I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
And this book's just come out, and it's laying it all bare for us. He's the least presidential president in history.
I can be more presidential than anybody.
And he just keeps losing and losing and running to his safe space so he can have one of those demented rallies with those drooling yeehaws, whooping and cheering, one of his white power rallies. And it looks like the end is ticking forward. The end is nigh, Donny. It's been, I was going to say fun, but it was fun for a while. But then it just got scary. First I was amused, then I'm petrified. It could be the end of democracy as we know it. So everybody in America must get themselves a photo ID and register. You know what to do. Of course, they don't make it very easy for you. You have to queue in the rain for about 6 hours to go and vote. Not like here, where there's a voting booth at the end of every street. Very, very easy. No excuses here. But you must register. You absolutely must register straight away, if not sooner. But it looks like it's like a Shakespearean tragedy is about to befall Donald Trump. Your husband's in great trouble, Melania.
I don't care.
Not remotely bothered. She's numb to it all now. Coming up, a weather update, a hint of sarcasm, more driving instruction, and casting the LBC Panto. Mike says, why do you always do the weather for Glasgow? What about the Isle of Man? We have weather here too. But I don't think so. I've been to the Isle of Man. They didn't have any weather. Let's have Bodmin.
Hello, Nick.
Malcolm, yes, sir.
Nick, I think the Tories are playing this absolutely perfectly.
This? What this?
I'm a Remainer, right? And yes, I have got a little bit of material, right, Nick? But please hear me out.
Oh, no. Material?
Yeah, so, Nick...
It doesn't contain a joke, does it?
So, Nick,
that's a yes.
Yes, Nick.
It sounds like a yes
Nick,
to me. Oh, material.
Oh, no.
Go on.
Okay, Nick. All good campaigns, they want a big start, then there's a little bit of a lull, and then they bring out the big guns, right? So... we've had Rees Mogg, who is a very, very big gun. He made a little bit of a meal of it. But what we, the country, have to look forward to is Rab and Gove. And they are going to be absolute mustard, man. They're going to burn the country up. When Gove gets going, every voter in the land will be backing the Tories. And when Rab, with his intellectual ability, arrives on the scene, man, nobody will be voting anything but for the Tories.
Right.
And then next...
Wait a minute. Is this the most sarcastic call I've ever had, or are you serious? Because I can't tell anymore.
Well, Nick, yes, you are right. It is sarcastic.
Right.
And it's out of pure desperation. I don't know what to say anymore. I ring you regularly, as you know. I ring Tom, and I'm just pleading with people.
Right.
Wake up, please.
And you're thinking,
why doesn't anyone listen to me?
Exactly. Okay, Malcolm, leave it with me. I'll
Nick, sort it out, mate.
Yeah, okay, I'll do just that. I'll sort it out for you. I'll sort it. Jacob Rees-Mogg is a big gun. Thousands of messages about overtaking coming in now, apparently, says my glamorous assistant. What are they saying?
They're all saying that you're wrong and
what?
That there is no slow lane.
There is a slow lane. It's the one on the left, people. I know that some of you are unfamiliar with that lane, but there is a lane on the left. I know that most people, particularly ones in Range Rovers and Audis, only know the fast lane, which is the correct terminology, but the middle lane is for when you're going faster than the slow lane. It's the constant in and out and in and out and in and out that causes crashes. Because people don't look in their mirror before they change lanes. They want to change lanes, and so they just do it. As though it's their right, it's my right, I can do what I want. Those people. The exact same people, by the way, that park in the middle of two spaces by the side of the road. That really does my head in. I almost was tempted to leave a message on a windscreen the other day. But you know about that.
Warning!
Yeah, that could cause that could cause you to be the number one story on the news. So I didn't, but I thought about it, and thinking about it will teach them a lesson. Matthew in Canterbury says, how would you cast the LBC presenters in a Christmas panto? Steve Allen was banging on about it this morning. Well, Steve would have to be Widow Twankey. There's no doubt about that. Andrew Pearce could be Peter Pan, because despite his advanced age, he is still youthful and pert. I'm running out. Who are the... I haven't seen a panto since I was a child. Who else is in a panto? Oh, there's the Ugly Sisters. Who would they be? I think I maybe better not stray into that area. Kath in North Wales says, they're wearing black tracky pants in the gym because black is slimming and the white stripe makes them look like they're running faster. What do you wear? Kath, I wear whatever is the least dirty thing I find on the floor of the bedroom. Not that it's got anything to do with you. Jiggy. G-I-G-G-I-G-J-E. Jiggy tweets, Trump is rich now due to extracting money from the American taxpayer, richer than he has ever been. He is earning hundreds of millions of dollars by cashing in on being the president, which is not a proper thing for a president to do.
Everything that I've done is 100% proper. That's what I do, is I do things proper.
He lied. Here's an odd question, followed by a little light disagreement about the highway code.
Anybody care what this guy thinks?
No! Kevin says, why do you hate white people? What? Wow, I've never been asked that before. Why do I hate white people? Well, I don't hate white people, Kevin. I hate people. I mean, and specifically you, Kevin. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. I mean, I've met people. I'm not keen. How about you? Lucas says, I'm listening to your show with my family from Brazil. Would you mind saying hello? Yes, I would. But thanks for asking. So polite to ask. He says, I'm telling them how nice Boris Johnson is. You want me to say hello?
Hello.
There you go. John says, what character would Farage be in the LBC Christmas Panto? Nigel Farage would be Captain Hook. And James O'Brien would be the crocodile. TikTok. That interview is still available on the World Wide Web, by the way. It's my favourite political interview of all time. in which Nigel Farage gets increasingly flustered and James O'Brien maintains some sort of oh God, what are the people in Star Wars called?
Stormtroopers.
No, the other ones.
The rebels.
No, not the Rebel Alliance. The
Wookiees.
Yeah, the ones with the light swords.
Jedi.
Oh my God. It's happened far too soon. My mind is beginning to melt. We haven't even got through 1 hour yet. James O'Brien went into some sort of Jedi mind meld. While Nigel Farage got increasingly flustered, and it was absolutely beautiful. As Nigel Farage got louder and louder, James O'Brien got quieter and quieter, and like Yoda, just picked him apart molecule by molecule. It's still available on the internet. Excellent work, James O'Brien. Why do I hate white people? Where did that come from? Paul, I mean, talk about random. Maybe it's the Donald Trump thing, maybe. Donald Trump's white power rallies. Maybe that's what he meant. Those drooling yeehaws in his audience. I'm going to drain the swamp. Woo! You can fool a lot of the people all of the time. Paul tweets, you're wrong. What? It's not the changing lane that causes crashes. It's the contact with other cars that's to blame. In the same way as speed doesn't kill, it's the it's the suddenly stopping what does it. Yeah, but that is true. Like if you fall out of a plane, the falling part is just fine. It's when you stop falling, big problem. Huge. Now, it is changing lane that causes crashes. I bet 110% of the crashes that happen on a motorway are caused by people changing lanes. I bet it's by far the biggest cause of crashes on a motorway. Morons changing lanes. I bet it is. So this, and by the way, don't take my advice on any of this. This is just, we're in hypothetical territory now. But my personal belief is that if you're going faster than the lorries in the slow lane, there's no point in going in and out and in and out and in and out of that lane every time you pass a lorry. Just stay in the middle lane if you're going faster than the slow lane. Doesn't that make sense? People need to rewrite that book. John says, I read that. Eddie tweets, Nick Ferrari could be Smee. Well, you tell him that. Don't drag me into it, Eddie. And Lawrence says, when is your podcast with Carol coming out? Oh, hey Carol, we've done a podcast.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think it was coming out in August, and then it was coming out in September, and then it was coming out in October, but I think it might come out in November.
Oh, right, yeah.
Not that I really know one way or the other. I've got no idea. It's like we did it, and we threw it. It's as though we threw it out the window, and maybe someone will pick it up and put it on the net. We just don't know. I haven't got a clue. Not one single idea. We've done them, but I don't know. Don't know is the answer to that question, and I hope that that's helpful. Well, since then, it's out. What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol is available in the same place that you got this podcast, and I think you will love it. Coming up, a message from abroad and from beyond the stars. This says something in Chinese. Tweets.
I can't read Chinese.
Right, so their name is... They actually managed to type in Chinese and send it to you.
In the Chinese alphabet.
Wow, how did they do that?
I've no idea.
With a computer made in China, maybe. China should really think about making, computers and all sorts of various types of plastic tat. There's a big market that's just there, ready for the taking. If only they could get into the computers and cheap plastic tat market. Then they'd be dangerous. Anyway, something in Chinese tweets. I see, that is very offensive. He said, he or she or it, I once had someone pull out into the middle lane from the slow lane and smash into my caravan, so I agree with you, it's the biggest cause of crashes. Now, I'm about to say something, and I bet you're thinking this too, but I'm about to say something possibly racist.
Oh, no.
Do Chinese people camp? Now, see, you were thinking that too, weren't you? Ashley texts, small correction, it's Vulcan mind meld, not Jedi mind meld. Otherwise, everything perfect. Well done. There you are, you see?
Thank you.
An unsolicited testimonial. Yeah, I knew that. I know that. I knew that it was a Vulcan mind meld, but I just got excited and carried away. By the way, I wonder how the new Terminator film is going to be. I bet my suspicion is it's going to be awful.
Affirmative.
Yeah, but I hope it isn't. I hope it's more like 1 or 2 or maybe 3 or the one with Christian Bale in, but not the one that I've forgotten what all of their names are now. Not the one that had all of the Terminators. Oh, spoiler alert! Not the one that had all of the Terminators in it at the same time. That was Terminator Overload.
Affirmative.
This says, I heard bad things. What does that mean?
About the Terminator movie.
Oh, right. Well, I wonder what the new Star Wars film's going to be like. I bet that's going to be dreadful too. I've said this before. She is excellent, whatever her name is. She carried on that whole... what are they called again? The people with the swords?
The Jedi.
The Jedis, that's right. That's alarming. That's twice in like 10 minutes I've forgotten that. Very, very, very disturbing. Well, I'm very, very ill. I have all sorts of medical complications.
Stop whining.
Yeah, she is great as a Jedi, but her male sidekick is just a drip. So hopefully less of him and more of her. And explosions and, all of that good stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. With the Rebel Alliance. Yeah, okay, I've talked myself out. That was me filling. Every now and then, a trained professional like me has to fill. Seamless, no? Now, coming up, that mystery messenger from the Far East reveals themselves, and I reveal your personalised rules of the highway. The Chinese Twitter account has got back in touch, says, I have no idea why Twitter does the Chinese stuff, but I am Bristolian and I live in Wales. P.S. Terminator is rubbish. Well, that's bizarre. So he's typing in his or her own name, and it's coming up as in Chinese characters. How weird. Must be frustrating for you. He's got no idea what his name is, or her name is, or its name is. Got to be so careful these days. Have I offended anybody yet?
Yes.
Ma says, how's your jaw pain, Nick? Any better? No, it isn't. No, it is not better.
Stop whining.
And I've been on pills all week. Pills, by the way, that I'm lucky to have survived. Because they said, if you read does anybody ever read the small print?
No.
The piece of paper that comes with your pills. Never, ever, ever read the small print.
Warning, warning.
Because it will make you not want to take whatever it is the doctor's just given you. God, it is excruciating reading the small print. You feel as though you've got every single thing that they list on there. It's up to and including your kidneys exploding at your back, your heart stopping working, and death. It actually said that my tongue could go hairy.
What?
Hairy tongue. How is that even possible? I got that over the counter at the chemist's. And they say marijuana is bad for you. Marijuana never made your tongue go hairy. I think that is probably true. Yeah, but it didn't work. They gave me a week's worth, but it didn't quite work. I felt that it was going to work if I had had it maybe another couple of days, but I've stopped, and now it's going to come back double. I am lucky to be alive. Mo in Cobham says, I know it's a little off topic, but to be honest, I wouldn't know who to vote for anymore due to not trusting anyone in government. Well, neither should you trust anybody in or out of government. In or out of politics. Never trust no one. And Gas tweets, I have a highway code from the 1950s. It's a collector's item. It's only a few pages. Simple, easy understanding. Today's highway code is information overload. Well, my approach to that is to not read the highway code. Like everybody else, I just make up rules. We're all about feelings now, baby. If you think it's true, it is true. You can park where you want. You can park in a disabled bay, even if there is absolutely nothing wrong with you, because it's your right and you can do what you want. And that's a fact. If there's 2 spaces by the side of the road, park in the middle of them so nobody else can use that space. Just you, because you are a unique and special person. If it's a 20 zone, that's for everybody else. You, personally, can go at 50. And you must always lean on your horn all the time, because that tells the people in front of you that you think they're a stupid moron. Those are the rules these days, apparently. Something in Chinese has got back in touch again and said, "My name is Pete. Last time I checked, I was a guy." Well, when did you check? I mean, how long? What period of time has passed between then and now? Here's a call in Islington. Sam.
Hi.
Yes, Sam.
Yeah, I just first of all wanted to agree with you about the hairy tongue thing, Billy.
Yeah. Right. Terrible.
But on the other hand, when it comes to marijuana, I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes it makes your tongue go hairy.
It does.
Really? I had no idea. They should write that on the packet.
From personal experience.
Yeah. Okay, then. Oh, that's it. That was it. She just wanted to tell us from personal experience, marijuana makes your tongue go hairy.
Want to score some pot?
No, thanks. I'm fine. But I appreciate you asking. Just say no. In fact, just say no thank you. I mean, good manners don't cost nothing, do they?
Be polite!
And that's it. If you like this, then you will probably like the whole show and the podcast that I do with Carol McGiffin.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, me and Carol McGiffin are doing a podcast. It's called What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol?
Oh, right, yeah.
And I think you'll love it. It is a right laugh. What's Your Problem with Nick and Carol is available where you got this podcast, as is the Nick Abbot whole show available where you got this podcast. And if you subscribe to this podcast, then the next episode will get squirted up your life on Mondays as though by magic. And I'll be back on the radio Friday and Saturday night at 10. And until then, LB seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Seeing you.
Bye-bye.
Seeing you.
Bye-bye.